Docking stations and port replicators. A docking station, or a dock, is a way of expanding upon a laptop. It normally allows for additional peripherals, say an external keyboard or mouse or other device that you might normally connect to USB, but you don't have enough USB ports to do so on the laptop. Also, additional network connectivity. The docking station might have an RJ45 port for Ethernet wired, or it might have a wireless card built in as well. And a potential for enhanced storage. Some docking stations have an external SATA port, so you can have an external box, or you can connect through USB. And finally, charging. A laptop might connect directly to the docking station through a special port, or you might just connect your power brick or use a special cable to connect to that DC in jack on the laptop. Now, a port replicator allows for additional peripherals, but it doesn't always allow for charging or physical docking, actually connecting the laptop to a docking device. So the port replicator will allow for that USB connectivity and that type of thing, but it may not do charging. And really, the two terms are used kind of interchangeably. There's a gray area here. Back in the day, a docking station was a dock, and you actually docked the laptop into it. And I'll show an example in a minute. But the port replicator was just something, it was just that. It would just replicate ports like video and keyboard and mouse. But now you kind of get a mixture of the two. And let's show two examples. Here is an HP dock. This is an actual dock, and the laptop has a special port on the back or the bottom, and it connects right to this. You dock the laptop right in here, and then you have that external connectivity. You could have an HDMI connection for video, RJ45 for networks, maybe a wireless card, maybe additional express card add-on functionality, audio, and then you could put a monitor on top of this. You have a power button and so on. So this is a physical dock. This is a true blue docking station, which also has all that ability to replicate ports. But then you have something like this. This is the Toshiba DynaDock, and this one just connects via USB. You want to have a USB 3.0 connector from your laptop to utilize this right, but that's all you need. It just connects in that fashion. So, you know, you may or may not be powering or charging the laptop with a device like this. This is meant more for additional 3.0 USB connectivity or higher. And a lot of these come with two video connections. I believe this one does. And that's nice because, you know, we showed in a previous sub lesson, we showed that secondary monitor that connected to the laptop, but normally laptops only have one output, say one HDMI output. And let's take a look at the features here. Built-in video card supports two displays for this. But in order to add additional displays, and if you're doing it through USB, you've got to have a USB 3.0 connection. So your laptop has to have that blue port, and you have to have a USB 3.0 cable. Otherwise, you're really not going to get high resolutions, or you might not even be able to get both displays working. Now, this particular description says that you can view up to 3 displays simultaneously, and this is fairly common for the USB version 3 port replicators, or docks as they'll call them sometimes, as in this case. So you can use the laptop screen plus 2 other screens, but you want to be careful with that. You want to check the features and you want to check the ports on these types of devices. So if we look at the ports here, we see what we have. For video, we have an HDMI out and a DVI out. So you got to check your connections on your monitors and see if they support both of these, or you might have to use an adapter, you know, HDMI to DVI or DVI to HDMI, depending on what type of device you have. You know, for example, I have some Dell monitors that are 16:10 aspect ratio that only have DVI and DisplayPort. But then I have a bunch of Asus monitors, like the ones I've shown in previous sub lessons, that only have HDMI and VGA. So, you know, you got to check that and get the correct cable or adapter if you need it. But supposedly you can do both displays on here, so you could have 2 displays with your laptop and your laptop screen running, which is a nice feature. Let's look at the rest of the ports. This has audio. This is your 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter. And this is surround sound. You've got the front speakers, the center and the subwoofer, and the rear speakers. So we know we have a 5.1 surround sound. That's nice because a lot of laptops don't have that. Most just have a single 1/8 inch mini jack, just for headphones or just for stereo. Here we have the blue USB ports, so we know this can do 3.0 or higher. And there was 2 of those on the front as well. Then we have 2 black ports, so that's 2.0 USB, and that's fine for keyboard and mouse and that type of thing. But if you're going to do if you're going to do data transfer with USB flash drive or other high-speed type things that have a lot of data, connect to the 3.0. Here we have an RJ45 port. That's for wired Ethernet connections. And of course, again, the HDMI and the DVI. And here we have our USB connection. This is type B. That's what goes out to the laptop, and then the power connection. So it's a nice device. Something I'm actually interested in for 1 or 2 of my laptops. So you have some options there, but you want to know the difference between what is a typical docking station. This is historically what's known as a docking station, where you'd connect your laptop to, and what's known more as a port replicator for a laptop, which may be called a docking station. So you have to be ready for that terminology to be used kind of interchangeably. And so know how these work, understand that you can add additional peripherals, network connectivity, enhanced storage, and possibly charging, especially on the docking stations. Know what those terms mean, docking station and port replicator, and understand how the two kind of, get meshed together nowadays. But understand in general that if you want to incorporate more stuff on your laptop, be it video or audio or USB or what have you, then you should look into a docking station and or a port replicator.